We're doing this video today on a simple, full practice uniting breath and movement. Looking at offering yourself a practice or a refinement. This, again, is a yoga class, a full-length yoga class. And this is something I'm encouraging anyone that is looking to start making changes or wants to start bettering themselves to start a regular practice. It doesn't mean you have to go really hard today. It doesn't mean you have to do all these poses. It means that you put out your mat and you do your best and you at least show up and breathe and move to the best of your ability, and maybe set a goal of 30 days. For the next 30 days, you're going to get up and at least do 10 to 30 minutes of breathing and moving. Use my videos. You can use the same one over and over again, or there's a couple others on here. And that's what we're going to do right now, is a full yoga class. And with all that said, let's go ahead and begin. Roll your mat out and find a comfortable seat at the back of your mat. You can sit cross-legged, or you can sit back on your heels, as I'm doing here. First, we're just going to take our attention and turn it towards our breath, taking a big inhale with sound, a big exhale with sound. Yoga is primarily a breathing practice. The focus is entirely on the elongation of our breath, meaning we want to slow down and increase the amount of oxygen we're filling our lungs with. I'm going to take your weight forward and then bring the balls of your feet to your mat. You can sit back on the balls of your feet here, getting a nice stretch, calf stretch. Possibly this is uncomfortable. You can find a challenge here for a brief moment and focus on your breath again. I'm primarily breathing through my nose in a ujjayi breath, which sounds like an ocean wave in the back of my throat. I'm keeping my lips softly pressed together and focusing on elongating the top of my head through the back of my neck. Focusing on elongating my spine and turning my attention inward to my breath. This is the beginning and the foundation of the practice. And you can stay here as long as you like. If your feet are uncomfortable, you can take them back to the tops of your feet or cross-legged. We'll inhale and roll our shoulders up as high as we can towards our ears, and then pull them down our back slowly, doing a shoulder circle, shoulder shrug. Look up slowly, and look down, bringing your chin to your chest, still focusing on our breath. Move our hands forward and come to what we call tabletop position, keeping your shoulders directly over your wrists and your hips over your knees. We'll begin to activate the core, focus on the breath still, and we'll begin a cat-cow sequence. First looking up, pulling our shoulders together, and then looking through, pressing our shoulders away. Again, looking up, dropping the belly, pulling the shoulders together on the back, and then pushing everything away, rounding the spine, looking back through to the navel. And repeat this process with your breath, exhaling as you round, inhale as you look up and arch, exhaling again as you round your back, press everything down into the mat. And take the balls of your feet to the mat and lift your knees for a slight strength challenge here. Keeping your knees lifted, but keeping them as low to the mat as you can. Finding your breath. Breathe here until you're ready to slowly take your hips up and back in what we call downward facing dog. Activating the arches of our feet, keeping the knees slightly bent, thinking about pressing down through the hands, pressing down through the fingertips. You can bend the knees as much as you need and try to bring your belly to the tops of your knees, bringing your chest towards the top of your knees. You don't need to have your heels pressed down to the back of the mat, and the shape doesn't have to look like mine. It can look however it looks, it can feel however it feels. We're going to begin to do a cat-cow sequence now from where our downward dog is, looking again at rounding the spine, pressing our weight forward until we stop momentarily in high plank, dropping our knees, arching our back, and pressing our hips up and back. Again, a little bit of a strength spinal wave. If this is too challenging, you can drop your knees and return to the first cat-cow sequence. Using your breath here to remind your body it's in a safe place. Tippy-toe to the front of your mat, taking as many steps as you can. Walk your feet to your hands. Inhale and lengthen the spine, keeping the knees slightly bent. Take a forward fold over your thighs. It's actually better here to keep your knees bent and bring your chest to your thighs than it is to keep your legs straight. And on the next inhale, bending the knees, coming up to standing near the front of your mat. We'll start inhaling up, reaching as high as you can. Exhaling your hands all the way down through forward fold to the front of the mat. Keeping the knees slightly bent here. Looking forward briefly, elongating the spine. Taking the hands back down to the mat to support your body weight as you step your left leg back. You can bend into the right knee and then press your hips back and forth. Bending into that right knee again and then pressing your hips back. And bend into that right knee one more time. Try to keep your right knee directly over your right ankle. Front knee still over your right foot. Inhale, reach high, and exhale your arms to cactus arms. Inhale, reaching high. Relax any tension in your face. Exhale to cactus arms. Inhale, reaching high again. Exhale to bring your hands together behind your back. Letting the left heel come down to find some stability, and then folding inside the right leg. Exhale and inhale with sound. Exhale in place. Inhale to come all the way up, reaching high. And exhale your hands down, letting the back foot roll back onto the ball. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Drop your knees lower down through your chest and chin, and scoot forward until you're on your belly. You can hold here, pulling your chest up as much as you can, reaching your arms towards the back of the mat like an airplane. Bringing your hands back to frame your chest, pressing yourself back up to tabletop, and then all the way back to child's pose. You can sit back on your heels and take a breath. Reconnect with your breath here. Big inhale, roll forward to tabletop. Exhale, press your hips back to downward facing dog. Inhale, tippy toe to the front of the mat. Exhale, fold slightly. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold again. This time you can grab the ankles, keep the knees bent slightly, and fold. Inhale as you bend the knees, coming up to stand, and exhale in place. Inhale as you reach high. Exhale as you bring your hands back down to the front of the mat. Inhale Lengthen the spine. Take your weight into your palms. And step your right foot back. Press your weight forward and back, bending your left knee. Inhale into the movement. Exhale through the movement. Finding a little bit more space here. Inhale, bending the knee. Exhale, press it back. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, press it back. Inhale, bend the knee. Straighten the back leg. Reach as high as you can. Exhale your arms to cactus. Inhale, reach as high as you can, pressing that back heel over the ball of the foot. Exhale your arms to cactus arms. Check your front knee as you inhale. See if it's directly over your heel, if it's in line. Exhale your hands to your low back. Take a clasp. Roll your right heel down to the mat, pressing the outside edge down, activating your arch. Inhale and exhale, fold inside your left leg. Try not to rest on your left knee, but fold all the way forward. And if you can, take your arms over for a shoulder stretch, shoulder opening. Coming back up to standing, inhale, reach high. And exhaling our hands down to the mat. Step your left foot back to high plank. You can take knees, chest, chin, or try lowering down through chaturanga, keeping your elbows at 90 degrees, keeping your core tight, squeezing your buttocks, activating your whole body until you lower down to your belly. For upward facing dog, taking your shoulders down your back, pulling your shoulders down your back, lifting up through your chest. Inhale, look up. Exhale, take your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Inhale with sound. Exhale with sound. Inhale with sound again. Can I hear you breathing if I was there? Inhale, lift your right leg as high as you can. And exhale, bring your right knee up in between your arms. Inhale, take your right leg as high as you can again. And exhale, bring your right knee again to the left arm and then to the right arm. Inhale, lift your right leg as high as you can one more time. And then exhale, step your right foot to the front of the mat in between your hands. Rolling your left heel down, pressing the outside arch into the mat. Inhale for warrior one. Hold briefly. And exhale, turn your body open to the side of the mat for warrior two. Inhale as you straighten your right leg, and exhale as you fold forward with your right leg straight for triangle pose. Breathing here, feeling whatever sensations you're feeling, sticking with this moment, sticking with your breath. Remember to breathe, remember to find balance. Try taking your left arm up towards the sky and looking up towards those left fingertips. Release your bind if you took it and come up to warrior two. Taking reverse warrior, reach up, reach behind you, and exhale that right arm inside your right leg. Taking your left arm overhead for extended side angle. And now using your hands, this is probably one of the more difficult parts of this class. Again, if you cannot come through this seated posture very easily, then just come to this however you can. Use your hands to come to a seat and bend the right knee and place your foot behind you. We'll inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale over that straight leg. Using your hands to come back up, taking yourself all the way to frame your right leg again. Dropping your left knee. Inhale. Reaching high. Feeling the stretch in your left psoas, in your left quad. Look slightly behind you if you feel comfortable. Keep reaching up. You can keep your hands on your knees or keep your hands on the ground if you feel unstable here. Inhaling and exhaling your arms down to frame your right foot. Take your right foot up and back, lifting it as high as you can. And keep it lifted as you come down through knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, lowering all the way to the belly. Take your shoulders back, look up, press the tops of your feet into the mat. And step to the balls of the feet and take your hips back for downward facing dog. Inhale with sound, exhale with sound. Inhale, lift your left leg up behind you as high as you can. And exhale, bring your left toes to the front of the mat. Hold and then lift them back in the air. Inhale the left leg as high as you can. Bending the left knee, bring it to your left wrist and then to your right wrist. Inhale that left leg again as high as you can. And exhale, step the left foot to the front of the mat. Rolling the right heel down, pressing the right edge into the mat. Inhale up for warrior one. The chest is facing the front of the mat. Exhale, open up to warrior two. You can slightly reposition your stance here. And check your stance and make sure your left knee is over your left ankle. The right outside edge of the foot's pressing down into the mat. Your arms are extended away from you in opposite directions, and your shoulders are relaxing down your back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, sink a little lower. Inhale, straighten the leg. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Both legs are straight. Exhale, take your left hand down to a block or to your shin or to the mat. Breathing here, you can take your right arm up towards the sky, and you can follow with your gaze if you'd like to look up towards the right arm. Bending into the left knee. Inhale, back up to warrior two. Exhale. You should probably inhale to the reverse warrior because we did that on the other side. And then exhale to side angle. Reaching your right arm long, pressing down into the mat. Use your hands to sit as low as you can. And then coming to a seat, letting your left knee be bent and your right leg be long. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold forward over the right leg. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold forward over the right leg again. Inhale, reach high, and exhale one more time over that right leg. Take a moment here to catch your breath. Remember, focus on releasing the tension. If you're experiencing tension, use your breath to work into this space. Use your breath to remind your body it's in a safe place and it's okay for it to grow, for it to let go. Bringing the left foot down to the mat, pressing with your hands until you come all the way back to frame the left foot. Step the left foot back, take the left foot up and back. You can keep it lifted as you come through your chaturanga. Or you can take knees, chest, chin. Holding briefly until we drop our belly and roll our shoulders down our back, lift our chest, press the tops of the feet into the mat, activate the core, lift, look up, inhale, and exhale, hips up and back to downward facing dog. Finding the breath here, letting the breath remind us of our focus. You can take the knees down to the mat. You can sit back on your heels. Inhale as you reach high. Exhale as you do a slight twist, taking your left arm to your right knee. And you can take your right arm down to the mat or reach around for the bind. Exhaling back to center. Inhale as you reach high. Exhale as you twist, taking the right arm to the left thigh, and the left arm can reach around behind. Inhale in place here, and exhale, twist a little bit further. And inhale, coming back through center. reaching high. Exhale your hands to the front of the mat, taking tabletop again. This time, inhaling to thread the needle, reaching the arm high. Exhale, dropping the arm through, coming to rest on the side of the head. You can just stay here, or you can take your left arm around behind you. Breathing here. This is a modification or a variation I like to do where I lift one leg, but it's not necessary. Taking your left arm down, pressing your palm into the mat, lift your right arm up, and exhale back down to tabletop. Take a slight wiggle or shake your spine up and down and side to side. And let's do the other side. Inhale our left arm all the way up, and a leaf came to say hi. Exhale your left arm all the way through, placing your head on the mat. You can take the arm behind for the bind, and mainly just focus on your breath. Focus on the breath here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, release your bind, take your arm up. Exhale your right arm down to the mat. Lift yourself all the way up, taking your left arm up, reaching high. Exhaling your left arm back down to tabletop. Taking weight into your palms, pressing your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Keeping the knees slightly bent, breathing with sound. Did a slight jump through here, but more than welcome just to walk your feet through your hands and come to a seat and staff pose. The goal of this pose is to keep the spine elongated and straight and reach as high as we can. First, we're going to press our hands down into the mat behind our hips, lengthening the spine. And then inhale, reaching as high as we can. We'll exhale and forward fold over our thighs. You can keep the knees slightly bent here, even if we're seated. We can keep our knees slightly bent. Finding that space in our breath. Remembering to breathe. Bending both knees, bringing the soles of our feet together for butterfly pose or Baddha Konasana. Inhale. Just stay seated here and think about elongating the spine. Pressing down through the sit bones, trying to sit taller and let the knees fall out to the side. You can coax them slightly with the weight of your arms, or you can press them down. We're going to inhale, reach as high as we can, and we're going to exhale, try to bring our forehead down to the soles of our feet. I like to take my arms up and open here so I'm not pulling myself down. And just letting gravity assist me. Taking both the feet long, bending the left leg and placing it on the other side of the right leg, and then bending the right leg, setting up for this twist. Take the left hand to the back of the mat, bring your right arm to the knee. Inhale. And exhale, twist. Finding your way to fire log pose, however you'd like to get here. Take the left foot and place it directly on top of the right knee. If you need a block or a spacer, you can use it to place it between the right foot and the left knee. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold forward. This is great for the IT band. It's a great stretch. Doing the other side of our twist, we'll take the right foot outside the left leg and bend the left knee, sitting up tall, inhaling, and then exhaling, twisting through the spine. Trying to keep the spine elongated and straight and twisting with the exhale. Take the right hand back behind you, bringing your left arm to cradle the right knee. Again, inhale in place and exhale, twist a little bit further. The wringing out sensation is really great for these internal organs. Take the right foot on top of the left knee. Find the space to sit and breathe. If this is uncomfortable, just make it work how best you can. Inhale, lengthen the spine, take your palms back by your seat, and exhale, fold forward over your right leg. Using your breath here to explore the tension, find the tension, encourage it to release. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold. Inhale as you come back through seated. We're going to take our knees and bend them slightly. Thinking of the cat-cow exercise we did at the very beginning, we're going to work a very, very subtle spinal wave right here with our knees bent, working the sit bones forward and back. We're going to round our spine, sit back slightly, challenge the core, using our heels to dig in, finding weight, pulling forward again. Rounding the spine and arching, rounding and arching. Maybe try it a little bit closer. Bring the feet closer. And now for boat pose, bringing your knees in, bend your knees. You can take your hands, grabbing your thighs, grabbing your knees if you like. You can keep your knees bent here if you'd like. You can keep your hands on your knees and thighs. Trying to stay seated, bringing your chest forward. Again, you can keep your knees bent. You don't have to do this variation. You could try doing something similar without the bind. Bending into the knees, falling down onto our back. Taking butterfly again on our back, Supta Baddha Konasana, rocking back and forth, recognizing that you've already put in all the hard work. You've done most of the practice. You've already pushed through. You made it to the sweet spot. And it only took you 26 minutes to get here. And this is accessible to you anytime, any place. This is yours. Enjoying your breath here, keeping your hands on your feet, pressing the soles together. Breathing into that space, breathing into any tension you feel. Enjoying this Supta Baddha Konasana, the reclining butterfly pose. You can take your one foot up and take your other foot up. Maybe eventually bringing both feet out for happy baby, the most vulnerable pose in yoga. Rocking side to side on a public sidewalk in a resort in Costa Rica, doing happy baby like it's just no thing at all. Again, looking at just pulling your knees down towards your armpits slightly, breathing here, really just finding some space, maybe play a little bit, enjoy the sensations, breathe into the space, unite with your breath. You can try straightening one leg. You can try straightening the other leg. Maybe straighten both legs. Give that a go. See how it feels. See if that's working for you. Bringing your focus back to your breath. What are you thinking about right now? Where does your attention go when it's not here? If the world was only what you imagined it to be, how much can you hold and keep one thought? And for how long? Taking our feet over, if you can. This is a setting up for plow. You can bring your feet all the way over your head, maybe bending your knees down by your ears, or taking your feet over. Bringing your hands to support your low back here. Taking your elbows down to the mat. I like to bend my knees and bring them around my ears. It sounds like the ocean's right there. It also feels very strange on my nervous system, on my nerves and my spine. Holding my low back, pressing myself up to plow. Again, here I don't want to have any weight on my neck. I would not recommend doing this. I don't know why I have this in this video. Do not do this. This takes years of practice. There's no weight on my neck. It is all on my shoulders. This is a shoulder stand. If you have any weight on your neck, or if anything feels uncomfortable around your neck area ever, listen to your body. Come back out of it slowly. Be patient. Be ready to keep trying these poses because they don't come the first try. Take your legs straight up above you so you're at L, and breathe, slowly lowering your feet all the way down to the mat. You can take your arms up above you, reaching long, inhaling one last stretch, and exhaling your arms all the way down to your sides. This is the best pose there is. It's called corpse pose, Shavasana. You made it. You've completed your practice, and you are now here just enjoying this empty space that you've created for yourself. Let your breath return to its natural rhythm. Let your palms roll up and your toes roll out to the side. Let your palms face up and let your feet roll out to the side. Let go of any tension you can find. Do a quick body scan and check if there's anything that you can let go of, any other things, any thoughts, any fears, any tension in the mind, in the jaw, in the shoulders, in the heart. Without going out the door, one can see the world. Without looking out the window, one can see the heavens. Why wait to leave? To realize you wanted to come back and put work in. You are beautiful and amazing just how you are. Please stay here and enjoy this sensation for as long as you'd like. Remember, we have this content on our paid channel, and the more contributors we have, the more videos like this we can make. Another leaf blessing. Rolling up to a seat, you can curl into a ball and roll over to your right side, pressing into your palm. You can roll over to your right side, curl into a fetal position. Pressing yourself back up to a seat